Hello, welcome to Podfic Galore. I'm your horrible online reader, Goldscutt. I read out loud fanfictions for you busy bees, free of charge and no strings attached. Today I will continue reading the Naruto Alternate Universe fic by MisatosPenpen and PhoenixInnocence from Archive of Our Own called Scars. Note, this fic is rated explicit. I hope you can at least try to enjoy my voice, and I will try my best for you with the equipment available to me. On with the show! Scars by MisatosPenpen and PhoenixInnocence. Chapter 2. Thursday, October 29th. It all started the Thursday before his disappearance. Sasuke went home after work, walking back down his driveway to pick up his mail. As he shifted through the envelopes, his cell rang. He stuck the pile under his arm and took out his phone and answered it.
"Come over to my place for dinner?"
Kakashi asked. "Come pick me up? I'll bring a change of clothes and you can drive me to work, and then we can do dinner out tomorrow and spend tomorrow night here and maybe the weekend."
"That sounds like an excellent plan. I'll be there in a few minutes."
Sasuke ended the call and went into his house. He ditched the mail on his desk and changed out of his business jacket to a casual one. He gathered up a suit for the next day and went outside to wait for Kakashi. Kakashi's black Audi stopped on the street, blocking Sasuke's driveway. Sasuke opened the back door and hung his suit hanger on the hook and laid his gun holster on the floor. He shut the door and slid into the passenger seat. They both leaned over for a brief kiss. Kakashi took them to his townhouse. Sasuke put his stuff away in Kakashi's room as Kakashi started dinner. The meal was uneventful, and afterward they cuddled up on the sofa and watched some crime drama without much interest, more focused on chatting about work. They were silent for a few minutes, giving the program more attention, but it was soon apparent Sasuke's mind was actually elsewhere. "You remember that guy Neji and I busted, Sabusa?" "Yeah. He was sentenced this week, 5 to 10. Not as much as I would have thought. I didn't fight for a long sentence. That kid he was with, Haku, they were married. They're going to allow conjugal visits. Actually, I feel kind of bad about it all. They're really in love. They were married on Haku's 18th birthday. When we first started investigating Sabusa, we were trying to convince Haku to leave him and try to prove if their relationship was physical before Haku was legal. I never could. I regret putting Sabusa in jail. He was all Haku had. And I know the happiness I took from them now." The last Sasuke said as he put a hand on Kakashi's cheek from his position curled next to him with his head on Kakashi's chest. "Trying to blame it on me now?" Kakashi asked, amused. I just wish we didn't have to put Sabusa in jail." "You're not having doubts about the job, are you?" "No, not really. I can't quit anyway. Not until I find Itachi. I joined the FBI to bring my family's killer to justice, and I will. But as soon as I do, I will resign. Inoichi's running my family's company in my stead. I'll find Itachi and take over the company. Don't worry, you're not losing me yet." They watched the second show with a little more focus. As the news started, so did their makeout session. "Since when did wildfires turn you on?" Kakashi asked. "Why? Is there one outside the window?" "It is getting hot in here," Kakashi observed. "Better in the bedroom?" "I doubt it'll be cooler." Nevertheless, Sasuke stood and pulled Kakashi up. "It's been nearly a week. I expect you to make up for lost time." He pushed Kakashi upstairs to the bedroom. Once there, Sasuke stripped as quickly as possible and threw himself onto the bed. Kakashi was a little slower. It allowed him to stare at the beautiful figure on his bed as he stripped. "Back?" Sasuke turned onto his back. "Or front?" "Front." Kakashi finished stripping and mounted the bed. Kakashi bent to suck at Sasuke's chest, but Sasuke grabbed his hair. "I'm more than ready," Sasuke said. "Skip the foreplay." Kakashi smiled. "Yes, sir." A little loop, and Kakashi pressed into Sasuke's body. "Fuck, oh, that stings," Sasuke panted. "Masochist," Kakashi murmured. Sasuke could only hum in response. They kissed as Kakashi rocked into Sasuke's body. Sasuke had been attracted to Kakashi since his first day at the FBI Academy when several older agents welcomed the new recruits. After Kakashi reminded him of their meeting the night of his family's murder, Sasuke could pin down part of that attraction. It was a sense of familiarity about Kakashi, but he wasn't a reminder of that night. He was a reminder of comfort and support. When Kakashi reminded him, Sasuke's attraction to the older agent intensified. He wanted Kakashi by him, always. He was mostly over the loss, but he knew he was still damaged by it all. He still had bouts of depression and flashes of rage directed towards his brother, or not directed at all. He needed more comfort than what Naruto could give him. He needed the comfort from the old agent who was there that night, saw the same horror he had, and had been the first one to comfort him. If Sasuke had been straight and Rin still alive, Sasuke might have latched onto her. But there were other things about Kakashi. They had similar personalities, similar tastes, interest in swords and swordmanship, and in all ways they were just so right for each other. Seeing Haku's love for Zabuza had only made Sasuke appreciate Kakashi even more. Sasuke's kisses became more desperate and, as a result, sloppier, pulling at Kakashi's lips and using his tongue to tease Kakashi closer and deeper. He whined just as much when Kakashi kissed him deeply as when he pulled his chapped lips away. Sasuke laid his hands on the sides of Kakashi's neck and grunted or sighed with every thrust Kakashi made into his body. Kakashi stared down at him with his elbow next to Sasuke's right ear and his other hand on Sasuke's raised thigh. Kakashi, Sasuke sighed. Kakashi hated that just because it was hurting his staying power, the bastard would make him come early if he kept sighing his name like that. He would be damned if he came before Sasuke. He slid his hand to Sasuke's erection and started pumping it. Sasuke gasped and pushed his hips up into Kakashi's hand rather than down onto his cock. Kakashi's hand sped up to make sure they would come together. And they did, with a cry from Sasuke and a wolfish grunt from Kakashi. Sasuke's legs went limp, dropping to the side in a way that disturbed Kakashi before he had experience with Sasuke's limber body. "I love you so much, Kakashi," Sasuke whispered while the endorphins were still coursing through his body. Panting, Kakashi returned the sentiment. "I've never loved anyone else." He kissed him. Kakashi got up to use the bathroom and returned with a warm, damp washcloth and wiped the cum from Sasuke's body. He tossed the washcloth back into the bathroom and lay down beside his lover. Sasuke pulled Kakashi's arm over him like a blanket. Work was dull and routine the next day. Sasuke was more than eager to leave that evening with Kakashi. They went out to dinner and then went back to Sasuke's house for a pleasant rest of the night in. Being Saturday, neither of them had to get up or go anywhere. Kakashi woke up with a hard-on and turned over against Sasuke's body and caressed his body until he woke up. He licked at Sasuke's shoulder in proposition. Sasuke hummed in acceptance, and Kakashi grabbed the loop and used it to finger the sleepy Uchiha while he gnawed at Sasuke's neck. Sasuke rolled onto his side to jerk off while Kakashi continued to move his fingers within him. Finally, Kakashi bent Sasuke's leg and injured Sasuke while he was still on his side. Sasuke came first but allowed Kakashi to continue to use his body for another few minutes until he was filled for the first time this weekend. They stayed in bed late, showered, and then had lunch. Kakashi wanted to watch some crap on Sasuke's Netflix subscription, so Sasuke decided it was time to catch up on his email and so forth. Sasuke finally checked his mail, going outside to get Friday and Saturdays as well. Bill, junk. Sasuke sat at his desk in his bedroom. Credit card application, bill, another credit card app, card insurance ad, offer to subscribe to the Times, ads. But there was one outlier. A letter. The return address had no name, just an address. He checked the postage. Konoha. He opened it. "Don't you think that your father might still be alive? They never found his body." That was it. No signature. Nothing else. It angered him that anyone would bring up his family's murder, and especially that someone might try to give him some kind of false hope. He stuck the letter back in the envelope and threw it on his desk. He checked his email too. Junk, junk, junk. Then one from 9262004 at yahoo.com. Did you get my note? A thrill ran up his spine. He looked at the email address more closely. 9262004. He called Shigemoto.
What? It's Saturday.
Can I get the IP address of someone who created a Yahoo email account without a warrant? I received a strange message.
Probably not. Want me to check it out?
Yeah, if you could. The username is 9262004.
I'll give it my best. On Monday.
Thanks. Sasuke put his phone on the desk and thought for a minute. September 26, 2004. 9262004. The night his family was murdered. It was probably some teed-off suspect or whatever trying to get at him. But it was a good point. Fukaku's body was never found. But if his father was alive, why would he not have been there for his son? Why didn't he support Sasuke or go after Itachi? No, Fukaku was dead. He blew it off and put on his glasses and printed out the forensic report emailed to him last night. There was absolutely nothing he didn't already know. He would be sure to give the CSU guys his trademark Uchiha death glare on Monday. Sasuke checked his email again. 9262004. It was the same message. Frustrated, Sasuke replied. Yes, who are you and what do you want? He didn't sign it and didn't expect an answer quickly. But he saw the icon pop up indicating a new mail out of the corner of his eye while he composed an email to Nechi. He checked his inbox. It was 9262004. I've been interested in the case since the beginning, and I highly doubt Itachi did it. Think of the implications of your father being alive. Why would he hide? I just want you to consider the possibility. Sasuke was irritated and replied, It's in bad taste, and no one sends anonymous letters like that when they want to help. This whole situation reminds me of a ransom or blackmail setup. Send. Sasuke took a deep breath and went back to his case at hand, until his email icon sprang up again. Forgive me. I really am just throwing this theory to you to help. Was the evidence against your brother so damning? Where is your father's body? What motive did your brother have? He was the first in line to take over Sharingan and was about to become vice president of the company. Even if he couldn't wait to have the sole ownership of the company, why kill his uncles and cousins? They weren't even in line. And why your mother? We both know the profile that was cooked up by the FBI didn't fit your brother in the slightest. No abuse, no hatred for either of his parents, not even a hint that your uncles did anything to him. And Shisui was his best friend, no? Why on earth would Itachi kill any of them? Why kill them all and leave you alive? You can't say none of that ever bothered you. Sasuke growled low in his throat. Yes, it did bother him. The man at the bureau painted his brother as certainly wasn't the brother he had known his entire life. Then what's your theory about my father? Sasuke responded. Sasuke checked the address on the envelope while he waited for a response. It was fake. The response came several minutes later. I can't give you a motive, but the fact Fukaku's body was never found is suspicious. Maybe he did have a reason to murder his brothers. I believe he killed the rest of your family and framed your brother. They all may have been involved in something that you had no knowledge of. Itachi must have also been involved somehow, but perhaps he didn't even realize it. You were left alive and unframed because you were completely innocent. Your father was a rather cold man, was he not? Is it possible? Cold was sometimes an understatement. Fukaku never yelled. Uchiha don't yell. Fukaku expressed his disappointment and anger through silence and those hard eyes. Both brothers sought approval, but pride was a rare thing in their father's eyes. And he did remember Fukaku arguing with his brothers. Madara, Izuna, and he were arguing in low but intense voices one night. Itachi was sitting on a lower step of the stairs when Sasuke came down at the harsh-sounding voices. Itachi stopped listening when he realized Sasuke was behind him, and escorted him back to his room. Sasuke never found out what they were arguing about. He wasn't sure when that was, how old he was. Sasuke thought about his cousins. Shisui was 2 years older than Itachi and they were best friends. Shisui didn't really interact with Sasuke unless Itachi was also around. Obito was a bit of a crybaby with a strange fear of going blind, always wearing goggles and constantly using eye drops. Maybe he was in danger of some eye condition, or he had some traumatic experience that almost gouged out his eye. Sasuke never found out. They had each been shot in the head. That struck Sasuke for the first time. If Itachi had killed Obito, and he really did have some deep-seated anger toward him, he would have shot him in the eye. That made more sense. If Shisui had betrayed Itachi or hurt him in some way, Itachi would not have been above revenge, but Itachi wouldn't have coolly shot him. He would have beaten him. When this one kid had bullied Sasuke, Itachi had beaten him within an inch of his life. Itachi was more of a hands-on type. He and Sasuke had taken martial arts since they could walk. And then there was their mother. Mikoto was the sweetest woman alive. When she was alive. Sasuke started to tear up as he thought of her. He leaned forward to take out one of the long earrings from the bowl under his monitor. Sasuke sat back and lifted the earring up to let the light play on the silver and diamonds. There was a photo of himself as a baby playing with these earrings as Mikoto held him. The last diamond was missing on one of the earrings where Sasuke's tugging had broken it off. He kept that framed picture in a drawer because it was too painful to look at. He also remembered Mikoto fawning over Itachi, and Itachi acting exasperated by her actions, but Sasuke caught the smile at being the center of their mother's attentions. Itachi loved their mother, adored her as much as Sasuke did. Even when Itachi rebelled to piss off their father, just to get some attention from the man, he always felt guilty for causing his mother grief. Itachi would never kill her. As for their uncles, Madara was as stone-faced as his brother, but would at least attempt a smile at his nephews. Izuna, however, was very different from his elder brothers, which was probably why his son was a crybaby. Izuna doted on his son and his 3 nephews. Izuna was a very kind man, very un-Uchiha-like. He may have been affectionate, but Sasuke knew he never abused him and was reasonably certain he never abused any of the others. He just wasn't the type. Itachi didn't have motive, except maybe some resentment towards their father, but that wasn't a motive for all that happened. Oh, and the whole kicking him out of the house because of he was gay. But they were reconciling and Fukaku was still intending to make Itachi VP. Itachi didn't have a motive. However, there was a running joke that Sasuke looked more like Izuna than anyone else in the family. That could be a motive for Fukaku against Izuna and Mikoto if he believed they had had an affair. Why the others? Why frame Itachi? Itachi could also be a bastard, and maybe he and the rest of the family knew he had been cuckolded by his own baby brother. Maybe he left Sasuke alive because he was too innocent and ignorant of the situation. Or maybe, just as framing Itachi was his punishment for being a bastard, being left alone with the pain of having his family slaughtered was Sasuke's punishment. Sasuke wanted to vomit. He tossed the earring back in the bowl and wiped his face. He'd reply. Share everything you've got. I'm willing to listen. 2 hours later, Kakashi came in to ask if he was hungry. Sasuke was just starting to receive the documents and sort them. Yeah, you finished with that fantasy crap? I'm caught up for another week. I could never stomach sci-fi and fantasy. That's because you're too grounded, Kakashi complained. So, what about ordering in some Chinese? Sure, I'll pay. Call it in and I'll finish up here. Oh, get lots of egg rolls and sauce. And make sure we're stocked up on sake. You okay? Yeah, just a little pissed about this forensic report. It's nothing. Can I help? Nah, I was hoping for new data and there was nothing I already didn't know. I'm just finishing up this email to Neji and join you in a minute. Kakashi went back into the living room to order the food. Sasuke turned and finished the email he had been preparing to send to Neji, and saw more emails appear from 9262004. The size limit on email made 9262004 have to send quite a few. Sasuke decided to leave them until tomorrow. He didn't want to say anything, especially to Kakashi who worked his family's case, albeit as a rookie with little actual involvement. He felt it would be insulting to tell him they may have had the wrong man and that one of the victims might still be alive. Sunday, November 1st. Kakashi volunteered at a dog shelter on Sundays and went over there to help his precious pack of strays while Sasuke had lunch with Naruto. He didn't say anything to Naruto either. Naruto had never proven himself untrustworthy, but Sasuke doubted Naruto could keep that kind of a secret, and he would no doubt pester him about the details, make him doubt himself, and worst of all, want to help. He didn't want any help on this. Then went back to Sasuke's after lunch and indulged in his body, feeling a bit guilty about doing this behind Kakashi's back. Tuesday, November 3rd. The next few days were difficult. He had been sent several megabytes of data. Most of it was scans of things he already had, but many of these had notations handwritten on them. There were also scans of handwritten notes his mysterious pen pal had made as he was investigating. It was dizzying. Sasuke had been so convinced the Bureau was right about Itachi that he had blinded himself to the fact there could be another suspect. For an investigator to realize he had large blinders on, that he could be so prejudiced, was crippling. He had a lot to think about. He looked out of the window of the diner where he was having lunch with Neji while they were taking a break from the legwork of the latest case. Where was his father, and where was Itachi? If Itachi was innocent... Sasuke felt sick again. How could he have thought so harshly of his brother? Sasuke! Sasuke! Neji snapped near his eye. Sasuke! The snap got his attention. Huh? You spaced out. Sorry. You alright? Fine. Just thinking. Care to share it? No. Circular thinking. I was disapproving my own idea. It's nothing. Neji nodded and returned to his turkey club. Neji, do you think I've been wrong about any of the cases we've worked on? Do you think I might have latched onto one solution and forced facts to fit my theories? Have I ever been too headstrong about a case, ignoring another solution? Neji looked at him like a deer in headlights. No, I don't think so. You've been right almost every single time. You've only been headstrong when you were absolutely right. Why? Do you think you've made a mistake? No, not on any of our cases. I've just been doing some self-evaluation, and I think I might have been pig-headed about some of my beliefs and theories. I just had my eyes opened on something, and now I'm questioning if that fault has affected my work. I don't think so. I think your self-doubt is not good. You're an outstanding investigator. He thought for a moment. Is this about Haku? I know you feel bad about him, but it was Zabuza's bad decisions, not us, not you, that hurt Haku. We found corroborating evidence in every case. You're that good. Sasuke went back to looking out of the window. Wednesday, November 4th. Sasuke finished consuming everything 9262004 had sent him. He'd been emailing back and forth with him every night. The night he disappeared, Sasuke was eager to get home and back to his new pen pal. Let's meet, 9262004 wrote. You bring all your information, and I have all of mine. We can sort this all out and see if we can find Fukaku, and maybe find Itachi. You know where Itachi is? Sasuke left off the exclamations that would have given away the excitement building up inside him at the prospect of seeing his brother again. I think you believe that Itachi's innocent. I won't ask, since you could easily lie to capture me if you believed him guilty. But yes, I know where your brother is. I believe in his innocence, and I wanted to make you believe it too. Send me the address. I'll be there as soon as I can. I want Itachi there. There was a longer pause before the next email arrived. 524 North Riverside Avenue. Itachi will be there. Sasuke printed out all the emails with 9262004, the ones he received and the ones he sent, then deleted them from his computer. He stuffed them and all the rest of the information 9262004 sent him into the same laptop case he kept all his own case files in. He changed, strapped on his personal guns, and headed for the door. He slipped on his coat and wrapped a scarf around his neck against the autumn chill. He kicked off his slippers, put on his shoes, and ran out of the door, hitting the arm button on his security panel on his way. He really had no idea what he was walking into, and had removed all evidence of where he was going, but he needed to protect his brother if he was innocent, and he had his guns anyway. He wanted to get to the bottom of this case once and for all. Everything else in the world be damned. End of chapter 2. Stay tuned.